All right, got to make up for lost time because I'm just pumping out literally three of them right now in a row because a whole lot happened both while I was on vacation and just kind of in the last day, actually. Mizkif lawsuit. I'm not a lawyer. I went to college for psychology with a criminology minor, and this doesn't seem to actually be really a criminal case. I mean, you could kind of make an argument for, Emaru and her trying to get a restraining order for SA and all that stuff, but I don't think anything really criminal has happened here. This all seems to be like civil, right? It's contracts and defamation and whatnot. And something I did notice just looking into it, sort of on a surface level, as not a lawyer, is that the big headline is the defamation suit, but it's actually a three-part suit. He's citing defamation, emotional distress, and breach of contract, which is why OTK One True King is in there, is because he had a contract with that company. He was one of the co-founders of it. He was there for a while, and from my understanding, and this is a layman's understanding here, is that after the previous cover-up allegations of the incident at the birthday party, like some years ago, they basically kind of fired him, but didn't really. They gave him a termination notice, but then didn't terminate him. Told him to basically sell his shares in the company, and then didn't quite pull the trigger on him for some reason, just to like see if maybe everything got cleared up. He got like the green light to come back, and didn't actually, was a good boy, didn't actually do nothing, which I don't think that's how it all wrapped up. And then when the Emaru thing happened, that's when they actually decided to double tap and actually terminate him. So when Asmongold said he hasn't been part of OTK for a while, we fired him a long time ago, he was like half right. So I guess Mizkif is saying that this is the breach of contract, and I don't have access to his contract, and I'm not a lawyer. I'm going to wait for some YouTube lawyer probably to explain it in terms I can understand. So breach of contract, maybe. I don't know what the actual nature of the contract is. If they were playing fast and loose with it, and maybe Mizkif has a better understanding of the legalese in it, and he has a case on that one. I don't know. Emotional distress, I think he should just stop being a pussy. Just straight up, quit your whining. Defamation, not quite sure about that one. I don't think he has a very good case, but it kind of depends on how you split those hairs. I mean, doesn't help that he just immediately came out right after Emaru dropped her video and basically half confessed to everything she said. But his defense was essentially, she's just as bad, because a water ball and a plushie are basically the same thing if you think about it. They're both basically made out of hydrocarbons and moisture, technically. Mass differential's a little bit different. I'm pretty sure you could hurt somebody a lot more with a full bottle of Dasani than you can with a Kirby plush, but what do I know? I just find it interesting that they're both accusing each other of doing the most woman thing possible, which is getting mad and throwing things. I don't care, it's a stereotype, it's true, deal with it. But, like, it's not defamation if it's true, and if it's not said with actual malice, which is especially important to prove when you're dealing with public figures, and these people are all public figures. But if you essentially say everything she said was mostly true, then suing her for defamation is a little bit weird. Maybe Asmongold said something that was out of left field that isn't technically true. I can't really think of what that would be. Maybe there is something there. And maybe he could be trying to split hairs and say that she exaggerated, and that rises to the level of an actual lie and malice, which maybe. I think there's some people arguing over what he did allegedly constituted an actual assault and was not just really poorly reading the mood. Uh, Maybe. I mean, it's just one of those things. Ever since the Me Too stuff, like the lines of consent have gotten very black and white compared to where they were back in the day. So it depends on if we're using like the 2002 standard or the 2022 standard. Because if it's the 22 standard, almost certainly was SA. If it was, back in the olden times of, you know, uh, Bush and Obama, early Obama to be fair, eh. But at the very least, if she said it was SA and it's not technically SA, it still sounds enough like what he did was that I wouldn't consider it a lie. Maybe at best, like the smallest exaggeration possible, because it was just right on that line of ambiguity. So I'd actually give Emery the benefit of the doubt on that one. Uh, Everything else, I mean, he just immediately copped to, and his entire excuse was, well, nuh-uh, it was mutually toxic. We were both. I mean, we were basically his argument was we were both jerks. We were both bad, which doesn't disprove defamation. So I don't think he's got much of a case there. Uh, I also did at least the bare minimum research, which is to say a couple of Google searches about uh, what states in the U.S. have really strong anti-SLAPP laws. And for those not aware, SLAPP is basically an acronym. I can't remember the exact thing it stands for, but it's basically frivolous lawsuits. Basically, when you're filing a lawsuit just to be a nuisance and not to actually win something because you've legitimately been aggrieved, states that have anti-SLAPP laws generally say that if you file a frivolous lawsuit, basically the judge is allowed to look at your lawsuit and go, no, that's BS. Also, pay the person you just sued, right? And it turns out that California, where Mizkif is from, and Texas, where Asmongold and Emery currently are, have really good anti-SLAPP laws. So I certainly hope his lawyer dotted his I's and crossed his T's, because otherwise, if the guy already has financial trouble, and I'm sure he does, if he gets anti-slapped down, that's going to suck even harder. Now that I think about it, I'm going to do a Google search right now, live as we speak, and see Delaware anti-slap. Delaware recently anti-slap. Broader, more comprehensive law called the Uniform Public. Oh, you poor bastard. Okay, OTK, like a lot of businesses, is centered in Delaware, which recently updated their anti-SLAPP legislation to be even stronger and more comprehensive in September of 2025. Boy, Miz, I hope that's not a problem. Unless you know something I don't, which may very well be true, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Have a good one, bud.